AI is everywhere. So this week, I thought we'd unpack a bit about what it is, figure out if I'm about to be replaced by it, and answer the question I know we're all asking, can AI fix my RV? My name is Emily. I'm a certified mobile RV repair tech, and this is RV Repair Woman. So what the heck is AI? AI stands for artificial intelligence, which is a term that is so broad that it can mean almost anything, which is honestly what tech companies are going for right now. They know AI is a trendy buzzword right now, so they tack it on to any piece of tech to make it sound new and cool, even if it's technology that's been around for a while. And this has turned the word into a useless marketing term more than anything else. When you hear the phrase artificial intelligence outside of what tech companies are trying to label it as right now, you probably think of sci-fi characters like Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey or Data from Star Trek. These characters all have the ability to make decisions and reason. They have what we would probably now call artificial general intelligence. Yes, terms change as we go through time. They can take in many types of data, like auditory data, visual data, and then make decisions about what to do with that data. What tech companies are now calling AI should probably be more called artificial narrow intelligence, because each new piece of tech that they're putting out has a very narrow range of what it can do. Each new piece of tech can usually only take in one type of input and put out one type of output. ChatGPT is probably the most popular AI tech out there right now, so that's what I'm going to use today. ChatGPT is just a chat bot that you can ask questions naturally, the way that you would talk to a human, and it will respond with surprisingly coherent responses. Coherent, but not necessarily accurate. We'll get into that part a little bit later. So I can type into ChatGPT, help, my RV AC isn't working, I have a multimeter, can you walk me through what's wrong? And it will pump out a whole page of text about how to diagnose an air conditioner. And that text sounds pretty human. Sure, I can help you with that. Diagnosing an RV's AC unit involves checking various components to identify where the problem might be. Here's a step-by-step guide you can follow using your multimeter. Other examples of AI that you might have heard of are Sora, that can make video visuals based on a text description, Suno, that can do the same for audio, and DALL-E can do the same for images. As you can see, each of these examples can do one narrow task. This task can be pretty cool sometimes, but it's still just one thing. And how well the AI achieves that task can really vary from query to query. Let's jump into that step-by-step guide for my RV AC. Let's see what it gave me. Step 1, safety first. I love safety. Turn off power. Ensure the RV's AC unit is completely powered off. Unplug the RV from any external power source and turn off the circuit breaker for the AC unit. Remove cover. If necessary, remove the cover of the AC unit to access the internal components. So I found by doing a couple rounds of testing and asking it a couple different questions about my RV that whenever you ask ChatGPT about an electrical question, the first step it will give you is to turn off power to whatever you're testing completely. If you followed any of my tutorial videos, you will know that I usually keep power on for testing. This is so we can follow the electricity and see where it stops. While I do turn off power from time to time for very specific tests for safety reasons, solving electrical problems with the power off is a little like trying to find a leak in a plumbing system without any water flowing through it. It's just really hard to know what's going on. Step 2, check the circuit breaker and the fuses. Circuit breaker. Ensure the circuit breaker for the AC unit is not tripped. If it is, reset and see if the AC starts working. Fuses. Locate any fuses to the AC unit. Check for blown fuses and replace them if necessary. Yes, this is fantastic advice. Honestly, killing it, ChatGPT, on at least this step. The breakers and the fuses are the first thing you should be checking if you have anything stop working electrically in your RV. As a general rule of thumb, the breakers tend to be safeties for the AC side of things, and the fuses tend to be safeties for the DC side of things. You got this. The one big hiccup here is that in step 1, it told me to turn off power to everything, and how I would do that usually is by throwing the breaker and pulling the fuse. So already things are a little out of order here, but let's try step 3. Next, ChatGPT wants me to locate, discharge, and test the capacitor on my air conditioner. But if I didn't already know how to do all of these things, I don't know if this description would be useful to me. Also, when I diagnose electrical problems in RVs, I usually like to take a really systematic approach. I usually start at the source and then work step by step through the system, the way that electricity would flow through it. I usually call this the Dora the Explorer method. If Dora is supposed to go over the river, through the woods, to grandmother's house, but she makes it into the woods and never comes out, then we know that the woods is most likely her problem. The same can go for electricity. I don't like just guessing and checking and hoping that I eventually find what is wrong, which kind of feels like what ChatGPT is doing. There are several components between the fuse and breaker panel that ChatGPT had us looking at last and the capacitor. Yes, as a tech and someone who does this every day, there are shortcuts that I can take from time to not have to go through the whole process every time. For instance, if your air conditioner is humming aggressively but not actually starting, that's a pretty good indication that the capacitor is your problem. But ChatGPT didn't have that kind of information. So there's no reason it should be jumping straight to the capacitor. Side note here, if you would like a step-by-step tutorial written by a certified tech on how to diagnose what's wrong with your RV's air conditioner, and unlike what ChatGPT has pumped out, actually has pictures for every step, so you really feel guided along the way, head on over to rvrepairwoman.com/AC guides, and you can get a downloadable PDF guide that will do just that. These guides are going to be cheaper than what any tech is going to charge to come out and look at your air conditioner, and they're going to walk you through how to solve the problem all by yourself. You got this. By now you might be wondering, how is ChatGPT getting this information? It is pumping out at least an okay approximation of what I asked for, but where is this information coming from? ChatGPT and programs like it are actually a subset of that umbrella term AI that can be called machine learning. Machine learning is just a program that is given a very large data set and is looking for patterns in that data that may be hard for just humans to find, either because the data set is so large or the pattern is so intricate. Real people then can help refine that algorithm by telling it when it finds patterns that are useful and also telling it when it starts spitting out absolute garbage. Kind of the same way you would train your dog. But where is this large data set coming from? Well, it's just scrubbing the internet. Basically the same way you would be if you were Googling your problem. It essentially has a ton of bots combing through the internet and copy pasting everything that it can find. When you ask it a question or ask it to give you something, it is then just combing through all of that data that it has essentially stolen from the internet and looking for any pattern in that data that seems to do with what you have asked for. I asked for a step-by-step tutorial, so it combed through all of the examples of tutorials that it has found and saw that most of them were presented in numbered steps. So that's how it presented its query to me. I told it I had a multimeter and I wanted to work with the electricity. It combed through all of the examples it had seen of people talking about electricity, and I'm assuming most of them had a big safety precaution at the top to cover the person's butt. So its recommendation had a safety precaution right at the top to cover its butt. Honestly, what you get from ChatGPT isn't all that different from what you get when you Google your problem. Except when you Google it, you can look at the sources of the information for yourself and decide if they're credible. When it comes to ChatGPT, you have no idea where it's getting its information from. Information that it scrubbed from a certified tech, maybe putting out a bunch of blog posts on how to test things in your RV, is given the same weight as Joe Schmo spouting off BS on Reddit. What it's pumping out may seem new, but is really just a summary and a regurgitation of things that other people have written. And when you ask it questions about things that are outside of whatever training data it has, for instance, maybe something super niche like RV repair, it can actually hallucinate. This is actually a technical term in the industry, hallucinating. This is when ChatGPT and other AI like it will act like your grandpa on Thanksgiving when you ask him something he knows nothing about. Both your grandpa and ChatGPT will just make things up and state the made up things with the exact same confidence as the things that it didn't make up. Take, for instance, step 4 of the tutorial it gave me. For step 4, it's asking me to find something called a contactor, which is essentially a relay made for high current loads. We actually don't have contactors in RV air conditioners. This is because the current isn't high enough to justify one. So we just use relays. They're smaller, they're cheaper, and they're easier to use. My best guess is that it pulled this information from someone online talking about residential air conditioners, which may use contactors. Also, if it were talking about the relays inside of your air conditioner, those relays would be found inside of the control box. They're right here. They're these black boxes. And almost no tech on the planet is going to test these relays individually. We're just going to test the ins and outs on the control box. This is because even if I found out that this relay was good and this relay is bad, there's no easy way to just switch out this relay. The time, money, and energy that it would take would be more expensive than just replacing the entire control box. But again, this is a thing that most techs just know in their brain and haven't written about extensively on the internet. Because it's not on the internet, ChatGPT doesn't know about it. But let's see if things get better at step 5. For step 5, it wants me to test the thermostat, which I've already talked about. I would have tested long before I tested the capacitor. Also, if I've shut off all power to the system, it's gonna be really hard to test the thermostat. But we're just gonna have to let that one go. And again, this description is so vague that if you didn't already know how to test a thermostat, I don't think this description would be helpful to you. And from here, we just get even vaguer. Step 6, inspect the AC unit's power supply. Measure voltage. Set your multimeter to measure AC voltage. Measure the voltage at the power supply terminals of the AC unit. Ensure it matches the AC unit's rated voltage. If there is no voltage or it's incorrect, check the power supply lines and connections. Okay. Number 1, I'll state it again for the people in the back. In step 1, we turned off power to the whole damn air conditioner, so there's no way to test if power is going into the air conditioner. We turned it off. But even ignoring that, the closest I can get to this making sense would be to test the AC power going into the control box for the air conditioner. Ooh, let me grab it again. But there's no terminals here. It's usually just 3 wires. There would be a big piece of Romex coming into here, 3 wires would come out, and they would get wire nutted to these 3 wires. 1 for the black, 1 for the green, and 1 for the white. And even to get to these wires, there are several steps that you would need to do to take the top off of this control box to get to these wires that ChatGPT just innocently forgot to tell you about. Also, there are no terminals here. It would just be wire nuts, okay? And then step 7, test the AC unit components. It's telling you to test the compressor and the fan. And while I like this test for the fan, it is missing so many steps for testing the compressor. Yes, we can test voltage going into the compressor, but there's also a resistance test that I talk about in this video that's going to tell us so much more than just looking to see if power made it into the compressor. Also, we've completely never tested the heat overload on top of the compressor. We never tested most components of the control box. There's a lot of steps that we missed here, okay? So overall, right now, I don't see my job getting replaced by AI anytime soon. Never mind the fact that like ChatGPT could have all this information, but until it sprouts robot arms that can crawl inside the weird compartments in an RV, it wouldn't be able to implement any of this, but that's for another day. There's a lot of doomsday people out there being like, all our jobs are going to be replaced in the next 10 years. And I don't see that happening. At least not anytime soon. But in the meantime, I would love to still have a job, so consider hitting subscribe. I put out new videos every week telling you the RV secrets that most techs don't want you to know. My name is Emily. This has been RV Repairwoman. You got this.